Welcome to Spiritual Calisthenics. Christ is in our midst. On June 18th, we commemorate St. Leontios, St. Hypatius, and St. Theodulus, the Martyrs of Syria, St. Leontios, the Myrrh-Streamer of Argos, and St. Aitherios, the Martyr of Nicomedia. Regarding Saints Leontios, Hypatius, and Theodulus, the Martyrs of Syria, this martyr was from Greece, being of great bodily stature and strength. He was an illustrious soldier in the Roman legions who had won many victories and was known for his prudence and sobriety of mind. When it was learned that he gave grain to the poor from the imperial stores and was moreover a Christian, Adrian the governor of Phoenicia sent Hypatius, a tribune, and Theodulus, a soldier, to arrest him. St. Leontius converted them on the way to Tripolis in Phoenicia, where Hypatius and Theodulus were tormented and beheaded by Hadrian for their confession of Christ. And Hadrian, with many flatteries and many torments, strove to turn Leontius from Christ. All his attempts failing, he had Leontius put to such tortures that he died in the midst of them, under Vespasian in the year 73. Your martyr, O Lord, in his courageous contest for you, received as prize the crown of incorruption and life from you, our immortal God. For since he possessed your strength, he cast down the tyrants, and wholly destroy the demon's strengthless presumption. Christ God, by his prayer, save our souls, since you are merciful. The readings are according to the week. From St. Paul's letter to the Romans. Brethren, we know that the whole creation has been groaning in travail together until now. And not only the creation, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait for adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies. So in other words, all of creation is waiting for the second coming. All of creation is waiting for everything to be fulfilled, and that our bodies will be reunited with our souls. For in this hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope, for who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know how to pray as we ought, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us with sighs too deep for words. And he who searches the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. So when we are truly praying, truly in our depths, the Holy Spirit guides us and allows us to pray deeper and more adequately than we ever could on our own. The Gospel according to St. Matthew. The Lord said to his disciples, when they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. For truly I say to you, you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. A disciple is not above his teacher, nor a servant above his master. It is enough for the disciple to be like his teacher, and the servant like his master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebul, that is the devil, how much more will they malign those of his household? So have no fear of them, for nothing is covered that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. In other words, everything that we do, both good and evil, will be revealed in the last day, and that if they persecuted Christ, they will persecute us. We do not believe in the idea that by believing in Christ, everything is just going to magically go our way, for we follow Christ crucified and are glorified in suffering. What I tell you in the dark, utter in the light. What you hear whispered, proclaim upon the housetop. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both soul and body in Gehenna. In other words, don't be afraid of persecution by people. The worst they can do to us is kill us, and that doesn't stop us. There's nothing that can separate us from Christ. But the evil one, by getting us to submit ourselves to sin, can cause us to separate ourselves from Christ our God, and that would be the destruction of both soul and body. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father's will? But even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Meaning that God knows so much about you that even the hair on your head is known, every single follicle. He knows everything about you. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. In other words, you have value. God values you so much that he died on the cross for you. I hope that you've enjoyed today's Spiritual Calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.